Good. How are you guys?
Good.
We leave tomorrow. Any questions?
Sean, is Payton Turner done for the season, or could he come back?
No, he could come back. Good question. So it's 3 weeks, 3 games really.
How do you feel about separation statistics? I mean, are they real or?
Well, the first question I always ask is, who's tracking? Who's the person? You know, are we saying it's PFF? Then I don't have a strong feeling, because there's an assumption that that there's some PFF stats that I think are valuable, and there's others that are invaluable.
But as judging receivers, is it something you look at all? That
Sure. Yeah.
With getting open, but how can some players have
Two ways to separate. Either through speed, running fast, or stopping fast. And then the last element would be within the formation, tight bunches, clusters. A lot of times that can open up separation, but run fast can help guys separate. Stop fast, guys that can transition. If they don't run fast, but they can stop fast, then that can be a tremendous asset. And then formation variation, but I wouldn't look a lot at that number if it was PFF.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that you're off the competition committee now. Is that like a set term?
Yeah, I think it was, and it was the right time. I'll leave it at that, without getting fined.
Sean, just out of curiosity, when the player goes on the COVID list like Crawley did, does that alter the timeline for when he can be activated off IR after he's been designated a return?
Yeah, and look, there's a protocol, and then they become eligible. Obviously, they have to go through the COVID testing protocol, but he's someone that can be brought up.
So, but the 21-day window, once you designate him for return, that doesn't get impacted by a positive COVID test?
Any positive COVID test, you're not playing.
Right.
Am I answering your question then?
Does it pause the timeline though? Like the
Like
21-day window?
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it pauses the timeline.
Okay.
Sean,
You don't get the COVID and then the 21.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if you knew ahead of time, it makes complete sense then.
Right.
If it
does it affect anything, like when you see for them A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, a bunch of guys don't practice on Friday? Does that change anything that you guys look at?
Here's what we do. Just so you know, we get the injury report. I have it right here. They get ours, and we study it. Obviously, we see the film, and then we get a past history of their injury reports like they would ours, and we see that it's pretty common, for instance, that a few of their guys won't practice on Wednesday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're 100% playtime still. And so we look a lot at the history. Michael will give me a long thing, whenever this player has missed 2 days, he's never, or it's pretty standard. And so you get used to looking maybe at a pattern. So that's how we look at this. And look, there's always that game time where you're still wanting to validate.
Any extraneous circumstances with this game this week as far as field
So
conditions?
I would say this: mid-50s, 10-mile-an-hour winds, should be pretty good weather, and it's a field that there's a lot of footing issues. So this is one of those weeks. We had the meeting this morning on the footing, relative to there's tons of clips of guys slipping. Even the gotta have it 4th and 1, quarterback sneak. That.
How does that work with your cleat selection going up there? I mean, do you all take them all with you?
Well, we have them all, but we're going to be into more screw-ins than molded. The molded are more comfortable, but the molded, they've resodded a portion of the field. But this is a grass field alert, and based on the film, there's a ton of guys slipping with molded shoes on, a ton. So.
Do you show the team the video of the guys slipping?
Yeah. No, we have a whole footing. We go through it, and it's not optional. Like, we're not asking them, hey, can you please, this is what you're wearing.
Do you ever make a mental note of Saints fans in the stands on a road game? It just seems like this might be a travel game for them this year.
I felt like we've been traveling well. I think we've been traveling well. The only thing I thought about when you said this was, I can't recall the last time we were there, whether it was that or twice. We had the infamous whistle monster or whistle that blew.
Oh, that was the
That the place kind of stopped, but it didn't. Someone heard a whistle, and then that was my theory on, our whistle monster was at the game. And yeah, you can tell when you have a contingent, and obviously Nashville would be a good trip. I think we've traveled pretty well in a lot of games. Washington was exceptional.
Will Trevor be starting again at quarterback?
Yeah, that's the plan, and we've got a number of packages that we'll use.
And I know we get an injury report soon.
You'll get that soon.
Tell us if anyone's being ruled out.
Soon.
Is your confidence in Brian Johnson? It looks like you had him at the 50 last year. Do you see more confidence in him?
Yeah. I think he's been outstanding, honestly. I love what I'm seeing in practice, and there's a calmness to him. Yeah, absolutely.
Has Mark Ingram been kind of what you expected, bringing
Doing
that
well.
back?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. It's a little bit harder when you bring someone in to play, maybe who's not been playing, but he's been training camp, games. He's just, you know what I mean? Football, sometimes you're bringing someone in that maybe hadn't played, but he's played a lot of football, and he's smart, so he's doing well.
And he was talking about how his routine got totally disrupted by the thing where he's
By what?
practicing. Well, just by the trade where he's practicing, and he's on a plane, and he's trying to find a place to live and everything like that, and he's finally starting to kind of feel settled back into that.
Yeah.
You can see that when he's just kind of interacting with
Yeah,
people.
you got to move, and your family. Yep.
Marshawn got his cast off on Monday. He said yesterday that he felt like he left a lot of plays out there with the cast on, but the sky's the limit for him now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he would know. I mean, obviously, if you're at a position where he's at, but I know he was excited to have it taken off, and so, and also at the line of scrimmage, that's undervalued when you're putting your hands on receivers. Confidence in being able to strike.
Sean, you spoke earlier this week about how detrimental it is for the Titans to lose a guy like Derrick Henry, depending on Kamara's status. How important is it now that you guys have Mark Ingram in the building and that he can step up and take the load? Yeah,
well, first in regards to Derrick, he's the season he's been having has been unbelievable. We followed their tape on a few games, and it's just impressive to watch. Same way, this league goes, and it goes, and you guys have seen it already with a number of different players, and we'll see relative to Alvin, but I think it is important to your question. I think it's very important that there's someone, like Latavius a few years ago. I mean, that's, someone's got to carry the load.
Have you been impressed with what you've seen so far with Mark?
Absolutely.
Since you got here?
Yeah, I have. Thank you.
What happened with Alvin? Is it just, did he play through it last week?
Yeah, it was just it's a knee injury that, he's rehabbing, seeing if, quickly as he can get back. But towards the latter part of the game, there was soreness, and there's a play or two that you see that you could tell.
Not really Alvin specific, but if a player does have a knee injury and you're playing on a field where you're saying a lot of people slip, does that play into
No, I don't think so. The field would never factor in as to whether a guy would go or not. Obviously, it would be, I think, more challenging on a artificial surface where you have better traction, and when you have more traction, and you have more stress. We're 28% more injury data on an artificial field than a grass field. That's just over 5 years, 8 years, and so the grass is always safer.
So I guess if they're healthy enough to play, they're healthy enough to
Yeah,
play.
it would never be a field. It would never be a field.
That.
It would never be a field decision.
Start
All right.
of the week?
Thank you. No stats. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
watch any of the game last night?
I watched a little bit. I had it on in the background. I didn't stay up for all of it, but yeah, it was like 6-3, I think, when I turned it off.
I was gonna ask you about give y'all any new ideas going forward about offensive linemen.
Oh man, you know what? That was awesome. Anytime an offensive lineman touches the ball, it's like a special kind of chaos.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure we pulled it up in the meeting room this morning. I'm sure everybody around the league did the same, but kind of a fun moment.
They already redid the elevator with that picture in
Really?
their facility. Yeah.
Good. The guy moved pretty well actually for his. I was surprised.
He wanted that touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, he put the ball over, like, to break the plane, too. It's like he was a receiver.
Yeah, it was special. Interesting though. Your right guard is looking for the pass on the screen. I don't know what what the scheme looks like in the playbook, but I bet that's probably not in there. But
Caesar hasn't talked to you about that?
good for him. No, he would definitely find a way if it was possible, for sure.
Trevor, just after having like the full week and to prepare and everything like that, like how did you think that went? And then like knowing now that you're getting another start, like are you able to kind of build on that?
Yeah, I think it's just good to get in the rhythm of a work week and get a feel for guys and get the physical reps. I think there's something to be said for that, but we're in the middle of it now, so there's not really much time to think about it. And I think we're in good shape. We got a good plan, and looking forward to playing again Sunday.
Travis, is there some kind of special for you just going back to? I know you didn't stay that long, but just being back in Tennessee.
Not really. I was there like a couple months, so know a few of the guys. Obviously, spent some time there, but even when I was there, I was like away from the team doing the COVID quarterback thing. But yeah.
That's weird. I guess I didn't think about that. You were like literally separated.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, it was interesting. I remember I'd come in after practice, but I'd have that hour and a half block off, and I lived right by a basketball court. I'd go and like shoot hoops for all the guys are practicing. I'm like, they're paying me for this? It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's much better being on the team and being around full time. I'll say that.
What have you guys identified as something you want to work on most to get the passing game going more consistently?
I think just getting going early. I think the plays are there. Just finding a way to stay on the field early in games, converting third downs, and accruing more plays. It's easy to kind of question things when you're only on the field for 3 plays or 6 plays. So just converting third downs, giving guys more chances, be it passing or running, that should help us out.
How has your relationship with Mark Ingram developed over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think if you can't get along with Mark Ingram, you got a real problem. So since he's gotten here, he's been an awesome teammate. People raved about him before he got here, but being with him, he's helpful. He's a good player. I mean, it's fun to be around. Can't say enough about him.
It's not too often you can kind of like pick up a guy mid-season who really knows exactly what's going on. Knows a lot of the teammates already.
Yep.
Like, how quickly has he kind of just transitioned into just?
You would think he would have been here since OTAs and or off season and training camp. I mean, he's sharp. He's played a lot of football. He fits in well with the guys. I mean, he hasn't missed a beat. He's all over it. Sweet. Thanks, guys. Yep.
Thanks, Trevor.
was starting off.
I mean, it feels weird to say welcome back, but this is the first time we've talked to you.
Yeah.
So welcome back.
Thank
Week
you.
10. What was it like, just getting back here? Feels like a million years ago now. But...
Yeah. Honestly, just having the previous connections and people that I knew from here just helped me to get settled really quickly, and so I've been able to just focus on ball and not having a training camp and OTA, so really just trying to get up to speed, make sure I'm in game shape, and try and figure out the best way that I can contribute to the team.
How much has Sean changed from back then to now?
I mean, we all change, we all grow. I was 20 years old when I was here, so we've all grown up a little bit, we've all changed, we've all matured, and so, I'm just happy to be back.
What is the biggest thing you guys have harped on in the receiver room about what you guys can do more consistently?
We know it's just making our plays, trying to help the quarterback out, trying to help out the offense. We kind of all took turns last week making our mistakes, and so just knowing that when the ball's in the air, we got to make our plays.
How about the concept of getting open? I mean, people want to say, oh, the receivers must not be getting open, but without having any idea if that's
yeah, I mean,
accurate or not.
If you just look at last week, it's just a matter of catching the ball. I mean, there's a couple times I drop a ball, and some of the other guys drop a ball, and so we make those catches. We're not sitting here talking about guys getting open, and so just making our plays, helping the quarterback out. We have space. I was in, I was 2 contested plays that I should have caught, balls that I usually make, and so it's just a matter of catching the ball, making the plays.
On those dropped balls, is that like a hand placement thing, chemistry with the quarterback, focus? Like what goes into that?
Personally, I'm going to say, it's just a matter of focus and locking in on the ball. So it's a different place for me to be. I'm not one of the people that's usually making those types of drops, especially in previous times me being here. So it's just something getting back in out here and focusing on making sure we make those plays.
Mark said he's staying at your place because Teron's family is here now.
Yeah.
How did he go about just hey, does anybody have an extra room? How did that go?
No, so Mark and I have been close since we were together here and have kept our relationship, as we've been on other teams. Just the group of guys that we had, my rookie year, my second year here, we're like family. And so Mark, when he first got back, was like, hey, I'm going to be kind of jumping around from place to place. You got space? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I got an extra room whenever you're ready. And so I guess Teron's got family here. So now Mark moved in, and like he said, it's like college. We get to, we're together all day, and then we get to go home, have some dinner, and really just relax and, kind of catch up and do the stuff outside of football.
Yeah. How has your mindset changed or matured since you were here last time?
I mean, I've been through a bunch on and off the field, but as a young person, still very professional. Luckily when I came in, having Lance and Colston and Jimmy and Sproles and all those guys just helped me to become a pro a lot faster. And so as far as football goes, I mean, I kind of came back right to where I started, but as a man, just, I've grown a lot. I've seen a lot, being involved in the protests and doing all the things that I've done off the field has really just opened my eyes to a bunch. And so we haven't been able to do as much off the field with COVID and just with our schedule, me just trying to get caught back up. But to be able to be back here in Louisiana and, to kind of have my feet on the ground and be able to get involved in activism and stuff here is, really important to me too. So hoping to be able to do that soon.
Kenny, did you know DeMario very well before you got into the activism and got involved? And how much has he impressed you as you've gotten to know him over the years?
No, I hadn't really. I think the first time that we really met and spent time together was when we did the league meetings early in 2016 or 2017. And DeMario, Malcolm, we've got a bunch of really great leaders on this team on offense and defense. And so to be able to kind of fall in line and see what they're doing and be able to work together, obviously, with strength in numbers is important.
Yeah, what have been your early impression with Trevor, part of that?
I mean, I feel like, and I don't know if you guys can kind of tell from the outside looking in, but when Trev stepped in, it was like no one missed a beat. Sean went out, I think, the first play that he was in and called a play-action pass. And so, I think the expectation here is when somebody goes down, the next person steps up. And so that's how this program's ran. And so with Trev in there, that's exactly how things are going. You know, we're going to run our offense the way that we feel like is the best way that's going to help us win the game. And, you know, we have all the confidence in the world that Trev will help us do that.
Kenny, you've been a part of some great offenses here. Your numbers aren't quite where they were way back when. Where's the ceiling for this offense? I mean, how much further can you all get?
I mean, the stats sometimes tell a little bit of a lie because, you know, if you have a bad game, one bad game, then it's hard to kind of make those numbers up. And so we know that if we just go out and execute and score points, make our plays, we're going to win games. And so that's really the bottom line. We're not really focused on where we're on the stats, on the stat sheet, who's scoring the touchdowns, who's got the yards. It's just about winning games. And so, you know, that's all we're really focused on.
Yeah, 5-3, despite some of the low offensive rankings, the most important numbers.
Yeah, I mean, staying away from turnovers, staying away from penalties, playing clean football. The defense is playing really well, and so for us, it's just going out there, executing, making our plays, and the stats really don't matter.
Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
See y'all.
Thanks a lot.
What do you remember about last time you all played this place?
Me, I remember having to go to safety for the first time.
That's what I was asking about.
Yeah, that was a big change for me right there. That pretty much converted me for the most part, the first game. So that was a good game.
How much more, I mean, you've got to feel a ton more comfortable playing now compared to back then.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just with time, learning, and even before that game, I didn't get any reps. I just pretty much thrown back there and not really knowing how to read offenses as much. But now, a lot better.
And then, ironically, if CJ doesn't play in this game, you might be playing more back into your second position that you played in this league.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you know, it's always next man up. We got a few guys that can play nickel, a few guys that can play safety. So I'm pretty sure we'll be rotating. So, but yeah, we'll for sure be ready. I played that position, so I know how to play it. I know the defense, and definitely going to execute when my number's called.
What would be your impressions of AJ and
Oh yeah, they two of the best receivers. AJ, he been putting up great numbers the last couple of years, and Julio been doing it for a long time. So those are two real good receivers that we definitely gonna be keyed in on and make sure we do what we got to do to slow them down. That's it.
Thank you, sir. We're all set.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
AJ, Florida State or Miami Saturday?
How you been?
I'm good. How you been?
Good.
That's good. That's good.
Just how much energy does CJ bring, CD, Chauncey, whatever you want to call him? How much energy does he bring, and how important has that been for y'all?
He brings a lot of energy, especially on the field. You know, when we make a big play, like the first person you want to you look at is CD Deuce out there. You know what I'm saying, doing his thing, and you know what I'm saying, let's get us hyped to go out there and make more plays. And you know what I'm saying, him not being out there has been very missed.
Did I tell you what been your impression with Blake so far?
Man, crazy, man, that he's out there. He's been doing it since last year, and now he's getting the opportunity to showcase what he can do on the field, and he's putting up those numbers, and it's incredible.
not common that you go through 5 kickers in one season, but how have you seen Brian kind of come into the specialist room and do what he's done so far?
It's incredible, him being able to be put in that situation and him to be able to overcome the obstacles, him just being thrown out in the fire and him being able to show success in what he's doing.
Yeah, another undrafted rookie.
It's amazing.
How do you feel that this season has gone for you personally?
It's pretty solid so far, you know, still things that I can work on, things that we all can work on as individuals to reach our ultimate goals, you know, with great challenges, you know, with great success come great challenges. So we accepting those challenges and, you know what I'm saying, we pushing forward.
What's the mentality of the guys on this team that obviously you guys have a winning record and you've won a lot of games, people look at, oh, they're missing Jameis Winston, they're missing Michael Thomas, but that you guys realize this is a lot more of a complete team than maybe what people view as that's the thing that would derail this team or something.
Right, you can say that our mentality is pretty strong. Like we have all the excuses in the world to, you know what I'm saying, say that failure is an option, but we don't see failure as an option. We, you know what I'm saying, do what we have to do and we go out there and win at all costs.
Did you play in college with Jeff?
Yeah, I did.
College, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did you thought about just watching him so far? How's he?
Complete monster. He's out there. He's dominating. You know, he's putting up those great numbers, and he's a force out there on the defensive tackle.
That's kind of what everybody expected anyway. Right?
For sure.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.